So our mission today is to cut through that noise. We're diving deep into Donald Miller's framework for scaling a small business, and we're going to use this one highly visual, incredibly practical shortcut to just make sense of it all.
It is a phenomenal shortcut, primarily because it relies on this very intuitive central metaphor. The premise here is that a small business is engineered exactly like an airplane.
Like a literal airplane. We're going to build this plane piece by piece today.
Yep.
Because the framework argues that if even one of these 6 specific parts is missing, or if it's broken, the business will eventually crash.
Yeah, there is no getting around the laws of gravity.
Right. But if they are all engineered correctly and they're working together, the business practically flies itself. So, before any plane can actually leave the runway, it needs a pilot who, actually knows the destination.
Definitely helps.
Yeah, and it needs engines to provide thrust, which takes us straight to the first components of our business aircraft, which are the cockpit and the 2 engines. The cockpit represents leadership.
Yeah, and leadership as the cockpit, it makes perfect sense when you realize that the absolute most important thing a leader does is provide a unifying vision.
Okay, unpack that a little.
Well, think about it from a passenger's perspective, right?
Yeah.
If the pilot gets on the intercom and sounds completely unsure of where the plane is going,
Oh, that's the worst.
or seems to be making up as they fly, the passengers are going to panic.
Absolutely.
The crew is going to be completely chaotic.
Yeah.
So to solve this, a leader has to define 3 incredibly specific things: a mission statement, the key characteristics of the team, and a set of critical actions.
Okay, so let's ground this in reality, because the materials we're looking at provide some really great, totally distinct examples of this.
We do, yeah.
They show how this works for a consumer-facing wedding cake bakery, a business-to-business cybersecurity firm, and even a nonprofit.
Right.
So, the bakery's mission isn't just, we make great cakes. It is specifically to sell 250 wedding cakes and attract 2,500 new leads, because everyone deserves a cake they can show off.
I love that one.
Yeah, and then the cyber firm is aiming for 100 security audits to make network defense feel less overwhelming for their clients. And the nonprofit, they want to recruit enough sponsors to build 50 homes.
Notice the common denominator in all 3 of those examples, though.
The numbers.
Exactly. They are highly specific, quantifiable destinations. They include hard numbers like 250 cakes, under audits, 50 homes.
Right.
This completely eliminates those vague corporate platitudes like striving for excellence or, synergizing market solutions.
Ugh, the worst.
A pilot cannot steer a plane toward excellence. A pilot steers a plane toward coordinates, and the numbers provide those coordinates.
Okay, I see the value in the numbers, totally. But I do have to push back a little on the whole concept of a mission statement.
Okay, lay it on me.
Well, if I'm being honest, whether it has numbers or not, a mission statement often just feels like corporate fluff.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's a thing you frame in the break room and then everyone completely ignores it while they do their actual jobs.
Yeah.
Does this framework actually prevent that? Or are we just slapping a motivational poster in our airplane cockpit?
That is the trap that most businesses fall into. And it is exactly why the framework pairs the mission statement with what it calls critical actions and key characteristics.
Okay.
A mission statement is basically useless in a vacuum. It only matters if it dictates the daily behaviors of the crew.
Give me an example.
So if the cybersecurity firm's goal is to demystify defense, a key characteristic for an employee is that they must, quote, think like a hacker.
Oh, cool.
Right. But then they take it a step further into critical actions. For the cyber firm, a critical action might be translates technical audits into plain English for the client.
Oh, okay.
And for the bakery, trying to sell those 250 cakes, a critical action is literally greets everyone who walks through the door with a smile and a free sample.
Oh, wow. I really like that. That feels less like a corporate mantra and way more like a pilot's literal pre-flight checklist.
Yes.
It's the small, kind of unglamorous, repetitive stuff that ensures the plane takes off safely every single time. It bridges the gap between, the grand vision and what employee actually does at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Precisely. It moves the vision out of the clouds and onto the ground floor.
Yeah.
It basically dictates culture through action.
Okay, so our pilot knows exactly where we are going, and the crew knows their specific daily tasks. But an organized cockpit doesn't generate movement.
Nope.
A perfectly crewed plane sitting on the tarmac isn't flying. We need thrust to push us forward, which brings us to the engines of the business.
The engines?
Yeah, the right engine represents marketing, and the left engine represents sales.
So the marketing engine in this model relies heavily on a psychological framework that clarifies messaging. It's the story brand framework.
Right.
And the core philosophy there is that customers do not buy the best products. They buy the products they can understand the fastest.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if your marketing is confusing, people simply tune out.
So the framework uses a 7-part narrative structure here. It's basically stealing the architecture of every great movie or novel ever written.
Yep, the classic hero's journey.
Yeah, you have a character who has a distinct problem, and they meet a guide. That guide provides a step-by-step plan and calls them to action, which ultimately results in either success or failure.
Right.
It's like Luke Skywalker meeting Yoda. Yoda doesn't give Luke a list of Jedi features. He gives him a plan to defeat the Empire.
Exactly. And what is really crucial to understand about this marketing engine is the psychological shift it demands from the business owner.
Which is what?
Well, most businesses instinctively play the role of the hero.
Oh, yeah.
Their websites talk about how long they have been in business, how many awards they have won, how great their team is.
We've been serving the community since 1995.
Right. But customers aren't looking for a hero. They are the hero of their own story. They are looking for a guide to help them win. So when a business stops talking about itself and starts framing its messaging around the customer's problem and how to solve it, the engagement just skyrockets. That shift from hero to guide is what generates massive marketing thrust.
That perfectly transitions into the left engine, which is sales. Because the framework carries that exact same philosophy over, calling it a customer is the hero sales approach.
It does.
And reading through this, I realized this is a total lifeline for people who absolutely hate selling.
Oh, 100%.
There is this stereotype of the sleazy, high-pressure car salesman, and most small business owners cringe at the thought of acting like that.
Because most people start a business because they love their craft, not because they love, pitching strangers.
Right.
This sales framework takes all the anxiety out of the process by turning a pitch into an act of empathy.
So it's a 5-step conversation. Right?
Exactly. You don't start by pitching your product. Step 1 is you start by acknowledging the customer's problem. You validate their pain point. Only then do you position your product as the specific solution to that problem.
Okay, let's say I am a landscaper talking to a homeowner. I don't start by saying we have the best mowers in town.
No, definitely not.
I start by saying it is incredibly frustrating to spend your entire weekend pulling weeds instead of relaxing with your family.
Yes.
So I hit the problem. Then step 2, I present the solution. We offer a hands-off, year-round maintenance package. What happens after you introduce the solution?
Then you give them a simple step-by-step plan. Because confusion is the enemy of a sale. If they don't know how to hire you, they just won't.
Make it easy for them.
Right. So you tell them, step 1, we do a 10-minute yard walkthrough. Step 2, you get a custom quote. Step 3, you take your weekends back.
I love how clear that is.
And following the plan, step 4, you have to paint the stakes.
The stakes.
Yeah, this is where you gently remind them of what happens if they don't hire you. The negative stakes, like losing more weekends to yard work. And the positive stakes, the joy of a perfect lawn.
Okay, and the final step.
Finally, step 5, you give them a clear, direct call to action. It's like, let's schedule that walkthrough for Tuesday.
It is brilliant because it feels like you are just helping a friend solve a problem. It doesn't feel like you're pressuring them into a transaction.
Exactly.
So between the marketing shifting from hero to guide and the sales conversations focusing on empathy and clear plans, we have 2 incredibly powerful engines generating a ton of forward thrust.
We have immense thrust.
Yeah.
And there is a massive danger here. Thrust without lift is just driving a really heavy vehicle very, very fast on the ground.
Right. Eventually you run out of runway and you crash.
Exactly. To actually get airborne, an airplane requires wings. And in this business framework, the wings represent your products and services.
And the distinction the framework makes here is so vital. Lift isn't revenue. Lift is profit.
Yes.
You can sell $1 million worth of a product, but if it costs you $1,001 to make it, market it, and deliver it, you are crashing.
Surprisingly few business leaders actually know where their true profit comes from.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. They look at the top line revenue, the total money coming in, and they just assume the plane is flying high. But you have to audit your products to find the actual profit per unit.
Calculating that profit requires looking way past just the cost of raw materials. Let's say you sell a piece of software, it's digital, so the cost to manufacture another copy is essentially zero.
Right.
A lot of founders look at that and think it is 100% profit. But this framework forces you to deduct the cost to market it, the cost to distribute it, and my personal favorite hidden trap, the cost of additional support.
Oh man, the support cost is where so many companies just bleed out.
Yeah.
If that digital software is buggy or the interface is confusing and every new customer requires like 3 hours of phone calls with your technical support team just to get it running.
Your profit margin evaporates entirely.
Exactly. You are paying hourly wages to support a product you already sold. Auditing your products reveals these hidden costs. It allows you to focus your energy on selling the items that genuinely create lift, rather than just spinning your wheels on high-maintenance, low-profit items.
That makes total sense for existing products. But the framework also dives into launching new products. It requires a massive amount of planning, like naming, messaging, financial projection.
A lot of prep work.
Yeah, but one question in the product validation phase really caught my eye, and I honestly found it a bit confusing.
Okay, what was it?
It asks, will this product upset any existing or future customers? Why?
Ah, yes.
If I'm an entrepreneur trying to diversify my income and launch an exciting new revenue stream, why on earth would my primary concern be whether it upsets people? Shouldn't I just be focused on capturing the new market?
It sounds totally counterproductive until you think about the aerodynamics of an actual wing.
Okay, I'm listening.
A wing only generates lift when the air flows smoothly over it, right?
Yeah.
If you bolt a heavy, awkward square box onto the middle of an airplane wing, it completely disrupts the airflow, creates aerodynamic drag.
Okay.
The exact same thing happens in business. Let's imagine our high-end wedding cake bakery decides they want some quick daily cash flow. So they start selling cheap $2 hot dogs out the front window every afternoon.
Oh, I see where this is going. The brides coming in for a very expensive consultation are going to be standing next to people covered in mustard.
Exactly. The bakery might make a few $100 a day selling hot dogs, generating new revenue.
Yeah.
But they have completely alienated their core demographic.
Yeah.
The brides get confused about the brand, they leave, and the bakery loses its highest profit item.
The hot dogs created drag.
Yes. The framework forces you to ask if a new product smoothly aligns with your existing brand and helps the whole plane fly better, or if you were just bolting a hot dog stand to a wedding cake business and slowing the entire operation down.
Wow, drag. You have to optimize for profitable lift, not just chaotic, desperate revenue. Okay, so we have our destination, our engines, and highly profitable wings. We are airborne.
We're flying.
But what happens if the fuselage, the actual physical body of the airplane, is bloated, disorganized, and ridiculously heavy? Gravity starts pulling you down.
Always.
Which brings us to the body of the plane, which represents overhead and operations.
In almost every small business, the heaviest part of that fuselage, like the biggest overhead cost, is labor.
Right.
But the goal of a strong operational framework isn't to ruthlessly fire people to cut weight. The goal is to keep the labor force incredibly lean by ensuring every single person is hyperproductive and perfectly aligned.
And the way this framework suggests achieving that alignment is through meetings.
Yes.
Specifically, a highly structured rhythm with 5 different types of meetings. You have an all-staff meeting focused on how everyone added value to the customer last week. You have a leadership meeting dedicated to big initiatives and finding blockers. You have daily department stand-ups where every person lists their 5 priorities and where they are stuck. And you have personal priority speed checks tied to quarterly performance reviews that literally track if an employee hit their specific metrics.
It is a rigid, deeply metric-driven nervous system for the company.
And here's where I have to call out what seems like a massive contradiction to me.
Oh.
Well, we are talking about streamlining operations and reducing corporate bloat. But ask literally anyone working in an office today, and they will tell you that adding 5 recurring meetings to their calendar is the exact opposite of streamlining.
Oh, people absolutely hate meetings.
Doesn't institutionalizing this many meetings just make the airplane heavier?
It is a completely natural reaction to recoil at the word meeting. We have all been trapped in a conference room for an hour while people just talk in circles, trying to sound busy to justify their salaries.
Oh, it's soul-crushing.
But that happens because those meetings lack a distinct purpose. The underlying philosophy here is completely different.
How so?
Well, think about the daily stand-up. It is not a casual catch-up over coffee. It's a rapid-fire session where you answer 2 questions.
Mm,
What are my 5 priorities today, and exactly where am I blocked from achieving them?
okay.
By forcing teams to communicate blockers out loud every single day, you actually eliminate the silent, unstructured chaos that drains payroll.
Ah, so it stops someone from sitting at their desk for 3 days just spinning their wheels because they were too intimidated to ask a manager for a password?
Yes, think about the countless hours wasted in confusing Slack threads or, passive-aggressive email chains,
Right, right.
or 2 people accidentally duplicating the exact same work because they didn't talk to each other. These structured meetings replace bad, sprawling communication with a predictable, surgical workflow.
It's less like adding unnecessary cargo and more like using the proper shelving system inside the belly of the plane.
Oh, that's good.
The weight of the team is still there, but because everything is packed perfectly and secured, it doesn't shift during turbulence and throw off the center of gravity. It keeps the plane balanced.
That is a perfect analogy. You are turning the labor force from a sprawling liability into a highly synchronized asset.
Okay, so our airplane is a marvel of engineering at this point.
That's looking good.
The cockpit has a clear vision. The engines are blasting marketing and sales thrust. The product wings are creating pure, profitable lift. And the operations body is streamlined and organized. We are cruising at 30,000 feet.
Smooth sailing.
But what happens if we run out of fuel?
Well, it doesn't matter how well the plane is built. If you lose fuel, gravity always wins. The engines stop, the lift disappears, and you fall out of the sky.
And in business, fuel is cash flow.
Cash is king.
Right. And the framework makes a very bold, kind of counterintuitive claim here. It argues that looking at your profit and loss statement, your P&L can actually be incredibly dangerous. It claims P&Ls basically lie to you about how much fuel you actually have.
I mean, they don't intentionally lie, but they represent a fundamentally different reality than your actual bank account.
How so?
Well, a P&L might show that you made a massive profit on paper this quarter. But if that profit is tied up in physical inventory sitting in a warehouse somewhere or locked in invoices that your clients haven't paid yet, you don't actually have cash.
Ah, okay.
If a massive tax bill or payroll comes due and you only have paper profit, your business will crash.
So to fix this, the framework ditches complex accounting for day-to-day management and introduces a system of 5 distinct checking accounts.
Right.
Let's walk through how this fuel system actually works. Account number 1 is the operating account. This is the main fuel tank. All revenue flows in here and all your regular business bills flow out. Simple enough?
Yep.
Account 2 is the personal checking account. The owner of the business takes a fixed, predictable salary from the operating account and moves it here. And the golden rule is you never dip back into the operating funds to buy personal items.
It creates a hard firewall between the pilot's wallet and the plane's fuel tank.
Which is a discipline many small business owners struggle with early on, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely.
Exactly. So then account 3 is the business profit account. Every month, you scrape the excess money left in your operating account into this profit account until it hits a threshold of about 5 to 6 times your monthly overhead costs.
It acts as an emergency reserve.
Right. But account 4 is where things get wild to me. It is the tax account. The rule is that whenever you move money into your profit account, you put the exact same amount, meaning a full 50% of your true profit, into this tax account.
Yep, 50%.
And finally, account 5 is the investment holding account. Once your profit account hits that 6-month safety threshold, any new excess fuel flows into this final account to fund things like a SEP IRA, which is a retirement account for self-employed folks, or to buy real estate or invest in stocks.
It acts as an elegant, kind of cascading waterfall of cash. The money flows from one tank to the next based on strict rules, entirely removing emotion and guesswork from the equation.
I follow the logic, I really do, but I have to stop at that tax account rule.
I figured you might.
I mean, instructing a small business owner to lock away a full 50% of their true profit strictly for taxes seems aggressively high.
It does.
Small businesses usually need every single drop of cash flow to buy new equipment or hire help. Why intentionally starve the operating account by hiding 50% of your profit?
It absolutely sounds painful initially, but this is arguably the most brilliant psychological trick in the entire framework.
Okay, explain.
The reality is that actual corporate tax rates for small businesses are almost always significantly lower than 50%.
Right.
By intentionally oversaving at an inflated rate, you achieve 2 remarkable things. First, you completely eliminate the terror of tax season.
Oh, yeah.
You guarantee that you will never be caught off guard by a surprise bill from the IRS. The stress of wondering if you have enough fuel to survive April just vanishes.
You essentially over-engineer the fuel tank so you never have to sweat the gauge.
Precisely. But the second benefit is even more powerful. Because you oversaved, when you actually pay those taxes at the end of the year, there is going to be a massive pile of cash left over in that tax account.
Oh.
It functions as a forced automated savings plan. That leftover money becomes a massive, guaranteed bonus that you can immediately sweep right into your investment holding account.
Wow.
It transforms a source of deep anxiety taxes into an automated engine for personal wealth generation.
You trick yourself into building wealth by aggressively over-preparing for the worst-case scenario.
Huh.
You hide the money from yourself so you can't spend it on unnecessary business expenses, and then you reward yourself at the end of the year. That is fascinating.
It's so smart.
So let's step back and look at the big picture. If you are listening to this and you ever feel that wave of entrepreneurial panic creeping in, just close your eyes and visualize this airplane.
Yeah.
You have the cockpit, which is your clear leadership mission and critical actions. You have the right and left engines, which are your marketing and sales frameworks that make the customer the hero of the story.
Perfect.
You have the wings, which are your products relentlessly audited for true profit, not just revenue. You have the body of the plane, which is your operations kept lean and communicative by a strict, purposeful meeting rhythm. And finally, you have the fuel tanks, managing your cash flow through 5 simple cascading checking accounts.
It's all there.
This single visual is a complete diagnostic tool. If cash is constantly tight, check your fuel lines and your checking accounts. If your team is confused and morale is low, go back into the cockpit and check your mission.
It takes the overwhelming complexity of an MBA program and distills it into a model you can literally sketch on a napkin during lunch break. It gives you immediate clarity on where to focus your energy.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Something that isn't explicitly stated but feels like the logical conclusion of all this.
Ooh, what is it?
Well, the framework ends with that investment holding account, right? Suggesting the owner use that excess automated cash to invest in real estate or stocks, diversifying their wealth completely outside of the company.
Right.
But if you actually pull this off, if you successfully engineer this perfect airplane with structured operational meetings, self-sustaining sales scripts, highly profitable wings, and a cash flow system that runs on autopilot, what happens to the pilot?
Oh, wow.
If the plane is built so perfectly that it essentially flies itself, is the ultimate secret goal of this entire framework to eventually make the small business owner completely obsolete to their own business.
That is a profound implication. I mean, if you build the machine correctly and the crew knows exactly how to fly it, you eventually earn the right to step out of the cockpit entirely.
Something to keep in mind the next time you are staring down a messy spreadsheet or a stressful customer email, you aren't just trying to organize numbers or put out a fire. You are meticulously building an airplane that might one day allow you to strap on a parachute, jump out, and just enjoy the view while the plane keeps flying.
That's the dream.
It really is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We will see you next time.